out Sophie Cunningham, and I guess by default somehow Angel Reese. But I mean, leave it to Angel Reese fans to somehow twist this into some kind of a diss when it was actually sort of a compliment.
So apparently, the biggest controversy in the WNBA is being told to just take a joke. Yep, you heard me right. Sophie Cunningham made a comment that was dripping with condescension. Angel Reese's fans called it out. And now the internet is trying to gaslight them into thinking they're crazy. Somehow this turned into Angel's fans being too sensitive. Really? What do you think? A harmless joke or another classic case of a black woman's success being minimized? Okay, so let's talk about what actually happened. Sophie Cunningham, a player known for her in-your-face personality, was on TikTok talking about having to give up gluten. Then with a laugh she says, "Guess I'm gonna turn into a Victoria's Secret model. Call me Angel Reese." That's it. That's the line. And for a fan base that has watched Angel get dissected, disrespected, and diminished since her college days, that line was a dog whistle. They didn't turn a joke about food into a federal investigation. They recognized a microaggression when they heard one, because apparently saying "call me Angel Reese" is the new way to be dismissive, while pretending it's a compliment. So let's break this down slowly. Since so many people seem to be allergic to context, Angel Reese, who yes just walked for Victoria's Secret, has built a global brand on talent, hustle, and unapologetic confidence. She's an NCAA champion, a business owner, a brand ambassador. So for Sophie to reduce all of that down to a punchline about getting skinny was, to put it mildly, disrespectful. It wasn't a nod to her modeling success. It was a cheap shot that implied Angel's body is her only notable asset.
A huge one I forgot to mention is gluten, which is in every carb pretty much possible. And I know they make like gluten-free stuff, but that shit tastes weird to me. I can still eat chicken. That's good. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to be kind of turning into a rabbit. So I don't know. I guess I'm going to turn into a Victoria's Secret model. Call me Angel Reese.
The comment sections reacted accordingly. Keep her name out of your mouth. This is not the compliment you think it is. The jealousy is showing. Bro, she knew exactly what she was doing. The second you invoke Angel Reese's name, you know it's going to get attention. Don't tell me Sophie Cunningham, with her media training and brand deals, doesn't know that. She's not an innocent rookie. She's a veteran who understands the power of names in this league. The woman has her own endorsements. Sure, but let's be real. In the current landscape, Angel Reese's name is a trending topic guarantee. Invoking her name, even in a joke, centers yourself in her spotlight. And please, spare me the logic doesn't exist on social media. Excuse. Logic is exactly what these fans are using. The logic that black women are constantly held to a different standard and their accomplishments are treated like a joke. And of course, the headlines followed the predictable script. Fans overreact to joke. Angel Reese's fan base attacks Sophie Cunningham. Notice how Angel's fans are the aggressors, and Sophie is the innocent victim.
Hey, Angel Reese fans believe that, y'all ain't gonna believe this, believe that Sophie Cunningham, of all people, needs to name drop Angel Reese.
This is the exact problem with WNBA discourse. A confident white player can say something flippant, and it's framed as playful. But the black fans who call it out are labeled a mob. That's not a coincidence, that's a pattern. Not based on identity, but based on a history of who gets the benefit of the doubt. I mean, what are we doing here? You could almost predict the defense. She didn't mean it that way. It was just a light-hearted comment. Meanwhile, if Angel Reese made a similar joke about a white player, the narrative would be about her lack of class or her arrogance. But when Sophie does it, it's just a microaggression. No, let's call it what it is, disrespect. And then came the real chaos, the defenders. All these creators rushing to Sophie's aid, acting like she was a victim of a vicious attack. She's just being funny. You can't say anything anymore. She can't help that she's white. She didn't even tag her, sure. Because that's how microaggressions work. They're subtle enough to give you plausible deniability. Social media thrives on accountability. Once the fire started, people demanded it. And instead of reflecting, Sophie's defenders started attacking the people calling her out, all while claiming they were the ones being divisive. The irony is staggering. And here's where the gaslighting really hit. People bring up that Sophie has praised Angel before. So what? You can respect someone's game and still say something deeply disrespectful. It doesn't absolve you. But that nuance doesn't fit the angry black fans' narrative the media loves. And the sad part, people say neither player cares. Angel is busy. Yes, she's a professional who doesn't have time to respond to every slight. That's not being unbothered. It's being a CEO of your own brand. Sophie, meanwhile, gets to sit back and laugh at the noise because she knows she'll be protected. The only people upset are the fans. Yes, the fans who are tired of this exact kind of subtle disrespect. They aren't starting World War III. They're demanding a basic level of respect for their favorite player.
Headline, quote, just a clout-chasing, jealous little girl. Jealous of what? Oh, but the fast food. Okay, I mean, Sophie's got an Arby contract, so yeah. I mean, what are we doing here?
Let's be clear, Angel Reese doesn't need people to fight her battles. But her fans have every right to call out what they see. And Sophie Cunningham isn't just staying relevant. She's using a bigger name to get a reaction. Because outrage gets likes, and nothing gets more outrage than taking a shot at Angel Reese. These aren't fake rivalries. They are legitimate reactions to perceived disrespect. Now let's talk about how ridiculous the "it was a compliment" claim is. If it was a compliment, why frame it that way? Why not just say, "Congrats to Angel on her success"? Joking that you'll look like her once you lose weight is not a compliment. It's reducing a multifaceted person to a body type. Jealous of fame? Maybe not. But using someone else's fame to get a laugh? That's a classic move. She doesn't need Angel Reese to stay in headlines. But it certainly didn't hurt her engagement that day. Here's the real reason fans are so protective. They see the system at play. They see the way Angel is covered. The way her confidence is framed as arrogance. So when someone from inside the league makes a comment that feels like it's punching down, they're going to react. You can't build a healthy fan culture if players think they can use other players as punchlines without expecting a response. The WNBA is full of real tension and history. To call it all fake is just another way of dismissing it. Even analysts started weighing in. Some were like, it was wordplay. Bro, it was a choice of words. And that choice was loaded. Others said, nobody would care if Angel said it. That's the whole point. The context is completely different. Context matters, and the context here is a league still grappling with how it treats its black stars. So yeah, we've officially reached a stage where WNBA players need to think before they speak, not walk on eggshells. Just be respectful. And all this chaos started because a player decided to make another player the butt of her joke. You couldn't script a better example of privilege if you tried. The funniest part is how people tried to minimize it. It's just about food. No, it's about respect. And when you come for Angel Reese, her fan base is going to show up. Every single time. Those same people who preach women supporting women see this as the opposite of that. They aren't just looking for a reason to hate someone new. They're responding to a pattern. It's not cult behavior. It's community defense. You can't just call a fan base toxic because they demand accountability. That's not bullying. That's setting a standard. And of course, the media played its part. The headlines focused on the controversy, but framed Sophie as the victim. Notice the trick. They show her laughing, looking harmless, and then cut to angry tweets. They create the hero and the villain. And then came the TikTok defenders, sitting in their cars talking about free speech. What Sophie meant was, no, let's talk about what Sophie did. She made a choice. And that choice had an impact. Liking a post isn't obsession, but making a whole video using someone's name as a punchline, that's a deliberate act. And you know what makes this worse? The excuse that Angel Reese probably couldn't care less. That's not the point. The point is about the culture. Her fan base is determined to create a space where she is respected. Not because she's a fragile flower, but because she's earned it. And then you've got Sophie. She didn't clap back. She went quiet. That's not power. That's what you do when you know you've messed up and you're waiting for it to blow over. She's confident. Sure, but confidence isn't a shield from criticism. And that in-your-face energy doesn't give you a pass to be disrespectful. Confidence without awareness is just arrogant. The whole situation proves one thing. People will bend over backwards to avoid holding certain athletes accountable. If Sophie said Angel looks amazing, that would have been fine. But that's not what she said. The double standard is why Angel is expected to take every hit, every critique, every joke. But the moment her fans push back, they're the problem. That's not a double standard. That's the status quo. And her fans are tired of it. Meanwhile, Sophie gets defended for a comment that was at best thoughtless and at worst intentions condescending. How do you turn a backhanded compliment into a national debate? By having a fan base that's smart enough to read between the lines. They didn't drag Caitlin Clark into it. They pointed out the clear difference in how players are treated. You did bring race into it? Yes, because it's relevant. The people yelling the loudest about making everything about race are usually the ones benefiting from a system that ignores it. Every month it's a new issue, because these issues keep happening. It's not Twitter manufactured, it's real. The players compete, yes, but they also exist in a world where their words have weight. The fans are the ones turning every post into a war zone? No, they're the ones holding the line. It's honestly kind of inspiring, because this league needs fans who care that much. But instead of appreciating their passion, people want to dismiss it. And here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Part of why Sophie gets a pass is because she's loud, confident, and fits an image the media is comfortable with. She's not fake humble, she just gets away with things others wouldn't. Meanwhile, Angels fans are called a mob for demanding the same level of respect. You can like Sophie Cunningham and still admit her comment was out of line. That's not hate, that's accountability. But accountability doesn't trend, victimhood does. So the fan accounts keep documenting these moments. You'll see a tweet with 100,000 likes saying this is what we've been talking about, and it's the clip from last week. They're not recycling drama, they're building a case. It's not a fake beef economy, it's a movement. And honestly, it's what will make the WNBA better. The players will learn that they have to respect each other, not just on the court, but online too. At some point someone's got to call it what it is. Entitlement. The joke came from a place of entitlement. The feeling that you can just say whatever you want about a black woman and not expect any blowback. And her fans aren't having it. They aren't mad because someone got attention. They're mad about how they got it. So there you have it, a thoughtless comment turned into a necessary conversation. Angel Reese's fans stood up, Sophie Cunningham got called out, and the internet got a lesson in respect. What do you think? Was Sophie out of line, or are fans just supposed to sit down and be quiet? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, and subscribe for more.